think we're live.
We are live. It said you are live.
All right. I don't see us up on YouTube yet, but I'm sure we're
it says
going
16
there.
people are looking. It has people in the corner looking, and it says
Let's
live
get
in the
into
corner.
it. Let's get it started then.
Gentlemen, the best wrestling podcast around, hosted by Brady and Danielle, the Heel Mob.
From Brooklyn to your living room, it's the best podcast to listen to. Morning, even afternoon, here clever blind girl and a Jew talk about wrestling. They do it 24/7, cause they love to speak on it every week. That's why they are best friends, and they're back once again for some wrestling talk. So sit back, relax, it's time for Heel Mob. They're not just smart, they're Heel Mob. They're not just smart, they're Heel.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, fans and friends. We are back once again. I am the custodian of charisma and the ophthalmologist of optimism. With me, as always, she is the sultan of sarcasm and the sorceress of sass. I am the ghost, the greatest host of sometimes. She is the co-cutest of all time. We are the Heel Marks, and this is Mark of Honor, courtesy of BodySlam.net. This is the Ring of Honor post-show, where we're not just covering Ring of Honor that just happened, just finished. We're also covering Ring of Honor Final Battle. Guys, be active in the live chat. We see you. We want to hear you. So feel free to comment wherever you're watching. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, wherever you're watching. Comment. Be a part of the conversation. Also, do not forget to give some support to BodySlam.net and everybody here, the entire staff over at BodySlam.net.
Mm-hmm.
Danielle, are you excited to talk about some Ring of Honor?
Yes, I'm excited for what happened this weekend. I'm excited for what happened tonight. Yeah, I'm ready.
It's gonna be. It was a good one. Final Battle was a great show.
Final Battle was great, top to bottom. I was invested the entire time.
100% agree. Guys in the live chat, let us know if you agree, and do not forget to go to slamchats.com, support Mark of Honor, support BodySlam.net with your donations, and share your thoughts on Ring of Honor Final Battle. I just remember thinking the entire show just really flowed great. Like the card was done right from top to bottom. The pacing was good. I remember at one point we were thinking oh man, the women have to follow this in the main event, and then Eddie Kingston came in with she's the perfect buffer match. It was well done. And I really walked away from Final Battle not having a bad thing to say about it.
Right. I was happy that the segments that went backstage or anything like that weren't too overly drawn out or anything like that. It just helped to move the storylines forward and set up matches for later in the night.
Agreed. Let's get into Final Battle. That's what we're going to do first. Start talking about Final Battle. First match of 0 Hour, we had Taya Valkyrie defeating Jasmine Allure. Danielle, what did you think about this one?
It was a pretty good match. I'm not really familiar with Jasmine Allure, but I mean, this was just to show that Taya is dominant, and it delivered. Absolutely.
100%. That was the purpose of this match. It was a Taya Valkyrie showcase, and with these type of matches, I do kind of put my eyes on the, for lack of a better term, the jobber, so to speak. So I do kind of watch a wrestler like a Jasmine Allure, and I see how good she is at making somebody look good. Those are the things I look for. I mean, definitely. Dolph Ziggler, is one of those guys that everyone used to talk about, one of the better wrestlers, better workers, but it was his selling that got people to start saying that. When people started talking about, when the hype for Ziggler was at its peak, it was because he was selling, because he was jobbing, he was making others look better than they did with anyone else. And I did think Jasmine Allure did a great job making Taya look great.
And that's all you could want in a match. You want them to look good and make the person who is supposed to be the dominant one look good. And that's what she did.
100% agree. And we got a little bit of that as well. On tonight's ROH show, we saw Taya Valkyrie defeat Vert Vixen.
Yes. We did see that. Yeah, I mean, I guess they're just doing stuff like this where they're just having people come out and keep making Taya look stronger and stronger. And I'm okay with this. And I like Vixen. I think Vixen was great, and she did her job well too.
Yeah, I'm also. This is another example of me gravitating to the jobber. Where Vert Vixen, every time I've seen her, it has been a losing effort, but she does catch my eye. She does, in my opinion, do a great job. And we saw it at Final Battle. Nyla Rose defeated Vert Vixen.
Right.
And I thought Nyla Rose, I thought, once again, just as we talked about, that was a Taya Valkyrie showcase. It was just needed to show her looking dominant. We kind of got that for Nyla Rose, and I like Nyla Rose looking dominant. Like, I think this is how she should be showcased.
Oh, she should be showcased like this all the time. I will say with ROH, when we were doing our predictions last week, it caught me off guard that there were so many matches added like the day of or during the pay-per-view. I was like, oh, we have all these matches now after us doing all our predictions.
I don't know why it caught you off guard, because literally I told you, like, before we started filming last week's episode, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're just going to add new matches like same day.
Okay,
like, why would they? I'm like, because they're going to.
Adding 2 or 3 matches, yes. They added like 5 more matches.
They added a lot.
So I was like, oh, they have more than 5. And I was like, oh, we're just doing this. Okay. I was like, that's fun. And then I think they added them in at the perfect timing. I thought the pacing, like you said, the pacing of the show, and I thought the placement of the matches was very good. Like, I wasn't ever confused, like, oh, why is this before this? Why is this after this? I just thought it was excellently paced and it was lined up perfectly.
100% agree. Back to 0 hour of ROH Final Battle, we had the Von Erichs, Ross and Marshall defeating the Outrunners, Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum, and the claws came out, Danielle. I mean, this is what we're expecting as we get closer to the release of the movie. Did you heel or did you mark?
I marked. Of course I marked. I was like, this is great. Of course they're doing this. Of course they're going to have all this coming out. It comes out tomorrow. So of course. And I loved every minute. I just ate it up.
Yeah, and I like that the Outrunners were chosen for this, not just because we're obviously fans of the Outrunners, but they're a team that doesn't necessarily take themselves serious. Their gimmick, they're not supposed to take themselves too serious. So getting to kind of fall to the claw is good old fashioned fun, and how can you not love that, right? Do you think we have Zac Efron making an appearance in any of these shows?
I don't think Zac Efron will, but I definitely could see Jeremy Allen White making an appearance.
Okay.
I would definitely see him. I almost called him Lip because I'm so used to him at Shameless. Yeah, I could see him, but I don't think I gotta say no for Zac Efron. But I could definitely see Jeremy Allen White.
I don't know, man. Zac Efron's usually pretty big when it comes to promoting his movies, and I mean ROH. They got the Von Erichs. They're basically doing a good job of promoting the movie. I could see him possibly doing it. You never know. Speaking of the Von Erichs, Marshall and Ross, we saw them tonight, and they defeated the Workhorsemen. Now, listen, I was just saying how they defeat the Outrunners, and the Outrunners don't necessarily take themselves serious. Couldn't be any opposite compared to the Workhorsemen. They take themselves 100% serious. Anthony Henry proved himself at Final Battle, and we'll get to that against Eddie Kingston, but 100% star-making performance, in my opinion, from Anthony Henry, showing people what people like me and you have known for a while, because we got to see him live so many times. But not everyone knows Anthony Henry and his story, and so we got to see him showcase. JD Drake, can't say enough good things about him. We love JD Drake here.
We absolutely love JD
and
Drake.
The heel marks, yeah.
These were good guys for the Von Erichs to face. And to have that little moment tonight. It was definitely just like like you said, just like the Outrunners, the Workhorsemen were the perfect guys to have as their opponents.
Yeah, and JD Drake and Anthony Henry really do show, whenever given the opportunity, that they can work with anyone in any capacity. If you need them to go out and have the match of the night, they can do that. If you need them to, get a little silly and fall to the claw, and then they'll do that. They'll do whatever they need to do, and they were serious when they needed to be in this match, and then they did what they had to do afterwards. But we just can't say enough about it. I think this is a great way to showcase the Von Erichs as they do decide to use the movie as an ultimate rub and an ultimate segue into getting them on TV, which it makes sense.
Absolutely, it makes total sense. It's excellent marketing.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's great.
Back to we finished 0 Hour with the bounty hunter Brian Keith defeating Jack Cartwheel to qualify for Survival of the Fittest. Now, you and I admittedly were disappointed when we realized this match was going to determine it, only because it meant both of us were wrong with our predictions.
Right. And though I'm okay that Brian Keith did defeat him and was entered into the match, I was like, well, he's not gonna win. Like, so it was kind of an upset because I thought there would be like a surprise. Like, I love a good surprise at a pay-per-view. So I thought there was gonna be a good like comeback. Well, we were talking about Kyle O'Reilly. We thought he was gonna come back. So I mean, it was a little disappointing.
I wasn't disappointed because I was disappointed like initially because like I said, we had made predictions and it was like, oh, well, we were just way off. But I knew Brian Keith was winning, and I was the second he came out, and I wasn't sure that he wasn't going to win the match, and I'll tell you why. 2 words: Slim Thug. When he came out to that theme song, I was kind of like, wait a minute, like, I don't know. Like, this is designed to be, this is a big deal. The crowd responded great to it. It was very much a hometown reception. And I started thinking, who knows? Now, granted, I shouldn't have second guessed myself. I should have just stuck with it like Brady, you're right. You're right. But in that moment, I was kind of like, Brian Keith might take this momentum to Survival of the Fittest.
And he did. I thought it was pretty great. I actually didn't hate this match either. I like Brian Keith.
No. I was thoroughly impressed. And I'm a big Jack Cartwheel guy because we see him at shows all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and so I thought they both showed out. I dug for the near falls. They kind of did have me going back and forth as to who could win it. But like I said, Slim Thug never gonna lose. So the bounty hunter picks it up. Then we got Final Battle begins with Daniel Garcia, and he defeated Blake Christian. Danielle, healer mark.
I popped so hard for Blake Christian coming out. I popped hard.
I remember that. I
popped hard because Blake Christian is so great at GCW and so hated. Like, when he came out, I was like, this is gonna be great. I was like, he's not winning, but this is gonna be fucking great. I was like, I'm gonna love every minute of this, and I love this match. Yeah, I marked hard.
100%. We've got Facebook user who says Blake Christian is incredible. Could not agree more.
He's absolutely incredible. Like, the way that people like just absolutely hate him in GCW and he just eats it up. That's why I think I popped so hard when he came out here. I was like, this is gonna be fantastic.
No, he's great. Blake Christian is money, and Daniel Garcia also is money. It's so funny to me how over Daniel Garcia's dance move has gotten.
It's so stupid.
I mean, listen, you say it's stupid, but the crowd reacts every fucking time. I'll be honest. I think Daniel Garcia thinks it's stupid too.
Well, I mean, it's like the Fandango. It's like the Fandango dance or something stupid that everybody like falls in love with. And I mean, the Scissor Me Daddy thing is one of the dumbest things on the face of the earth, but everybody's behind it.
Dare you?
Don't how dare me, people. It is so stupid, but it's so stupid that you love it.
Dare you?
Stop it. It's so stupid.
Scissoring is bringing people together.
Right. It's bringing people together because it's so stupid.
No, it's unity.
Stupid. Stop doing that on camera. We're going to have to blur that out. What are you doing? It's so dumb. But the dance is so stupid, but it gets them over. Like, who cares? It's fantastic. Who cares?
And
But
the
yeah,
great thing about Daniel Garcia is the fact that, like, when he was introduced to a lot of us, it was as just a no nonsense serious wrestler. And the only thing you really heard was how great he was bell to bell. And over time, with Jericho and now without Jericho, we do get to see different sides of him, more personality, and like you said, he's gotten himself over with this silly dance move. He can still go bell to bell. So, I mean, that just tells me the sky's the limit for Daniel Garcia.
no, yeah, absolutely. And I love that because he isn't taking himself too seriously, and that's what gets people behind him, and that's what will help elevate him.
Exactly. We did see Blake Christian tonight. Speaking
Mhm.
of the amazing Blake Christian, we did see him lose again tonight. Blake Christian and Willie Mack going down to the gates of agony.
Love
I'm
me
huge
some
on the gates
Willie
of
Mack.
agony.
I
Do
know you
you?
love
I
Gates
love
of
Willie
Agony.
Mack too.
Gates of Agony are fire. They're so good.
They're so badass.
Yeah, they're
Like,
really badass.
for me, they're a throwback to kind of like I want to say like the APA, mainly Farouk, but really the APA. And I say Farouk because like Farouk was, and they talk about it in like documentaries and stuff. Farouk was an ass kicker. Farouk would hurt you. He was a legit tough guy. And if he wanted to fight someone, he was going to fight them and he was going to win. And so I I kind of get reminded of that style and those guys when I watch the Gates of Agony because I feel the exact same way. Like I feel like if they wanted to hurt someone, they would hurt someone.
Also, that type of name too. Like it kind of makes you, think that they're a powerhouse to be reckoned with and stuff like that. That was the
Yeah.
guy, by the way, before when I was like, "Oh, this guy's handsome." It was one of the guys from Gates of Agony.
Khan.
Yep, 100%. That's exactly right. That man is handsome. That's a handsome man. I
You
was
know
like,
who's a
"Oh,
handsome
wow."
man? But I pause on the handsome man. I'm going to tell you when the handsome man came onto Final Battle because a very handsome man showed up.
I mean,
And
there
you'll
was
know
numerous
exactly.
handsome men.
You're right.
Okay,
But
not this match.
one in particular, I'm going to shout out. But it wasn't
Okay.
wasn't in this match. No disrespect to El Hijo del Vikingo or Black Taurus.
Vikingo's
Both
a
sexy.
handsome guy. Yeah.
I'm sure Black Taurus is sexy too. Under the mask.
Maybe.
But yeah, no, El Hijo del Vikingo retained the AAA Mega Championship against Black Taurus. I love this match.
I love this
Okay,
match, but there were some silly moments in it that I was like, "What's happening here?" There was like, I can't remember who did it, but he jumped on. He kept jumping on and off the rope, and then he like jumped over it, and I was like, "What's the point of doing that? Like, why was that? Was that just to be fancy?"
okay, that was obviously a botch that he like
No.
made work.
I know what part you're talking about. That was a botch. But I'm talking about when he like jumped on the rope, and then he jumped off the rope, and then he jumped on the rope, and
That's
I'm like,
exactly what I'm talking about.
that wasn't a botch.
He ran to the ropes, he went there, he jumped up, and then he lost his footing. So he went down, he jumped back to the ropes, he went there, jumped up, lost his footing again. So then he just jumped on the rope and did the move. But the commentators kind of sold it as he was faking out the rest Black Taurus. But 100% that was a botch that he made work.
Oh, I didn't think that was a botch. I just thought it looked stupid.
Okay, well, negative Nancy. He was getting praised for that by everyone else on
praise
Twitter.
everything on the show. I have to give some negativity,
Okay, but your negativity was universally praised as everyone's saying this man botched and still made it work. Wow, El Hijo is crazy.
So just because they say that it just passes because everybody says it? This is Scissor Me Daddy all over again. This is ridiculous.
This is Scissor Me Daddy all over again because Scissor Me Daddy is a national treasure and you are a Grinch.
How dare you? The Grinch loved his dog and hated people. So I'm honored to be the Grinch. So I'm honored. Thank you for that wonderful compliment.
But yeah, no, what I love about this match is I think these two guys really have awesome chemistry with each other.
Oh,
Like,
yes, absolutely.
And like I could watch them go back and forth. Like I wouldn't mind if this turned into like a best of 3 series. Like give me more.
Yeah, just give me all of it. Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Besides that, I really love the flow of this match. It's like they were dancing, and it's such it's a beautiful dance that ended beautifully. I was gonna say another word and I couldn't think of it, and I was like, beautiful.
You're beautiful.
Inside.
Next match we had was the Mogul Embassy defeating TMDK. I'm really happy to see the Embassy get pushed the way they are. It would be very easy for Swerve to be the only one actually getting W's, actually climbing the ladder. But no, we've got our 6-man tag champs, and they also we talked about it already. But tonight, as Gates of Agony got a tag team match, so we're just watching them be dominant on all levels.
And they look
tag
dominant.
Team,
they're very
6-man solo.
Right. And they're very believable as a dominant stable. You know what I mean? Like Mogul Embassy like looks dominant, and when they are dominant, you believe it.
100%. Yeah, we talked last week about how Brian Cage wrestles with a chip on his shoulder, but he's in good company. Like he's finally in good company, and no, he's not being presented as the guy, but he's in a great spot. You know, it's like how when there's actors who get good roles in good movies, it's not the role, it's not you're not top of the card, but it's a good role in a good movie. It's going to help your career. That's exactly what Brian Cage. That's exactly what's happening with him right now.
I can say that. Yeah, I agree.
Next match, we had Danielle's boy, all ego, Ethan Page.
Is this the handsome man?
Tony Nese in an I Quit match. And yes, the handsome man, Scorpio Sky, showed up to save the day, as well as the handsome man, Sexual Chocolate, Mark Henry.
Wow, Ethan Page gets no love of being a handsome man?
Ethan Page becomes a bald man, and I'll throw him I'll throw it his way. You don't see you don't see what's happening here. This is the Bald Brotherhood, Danielle. We stick together.
I mean, I guess.
Listen, all ego Ethan Page is throwing thirst traps online all the time.
Yeah,
he knows he's good looking. He doesn't need to hear it from me, okay? He's fine.
Yeah, Ethan Page looking like a snack. Anyway, I absolutely love this match. I thought the storytelling of this match was so fantastic. It just, the whole, like, Tony Nese just asking Ethan Page constantly, say it. And then the final last one, he was just like, fuck you. It was just so amazing. Like, I really enjoyed this match. I loved it so much.
What'd you think of Smart Mark Sterling getting involved throughout the match?
He was annoying. I don't really like that guy.
What? You don't like Smart Mark Sterling?
Not a fan. No.
Wow. I couldn't.
Why? Are you a mark for him?
Yes, I couldn't disagree more.
Is it because he's bald?
Smart Mark Sterling is not bald. Are you thinking of the wrong person? Are you thinking of the wrong match? Are you thinking of the wrong show?
No, I'm thinking of the right match. I'm thinking of the right match. I just can't remember if he has hair.
He definitely does.
This is the Mandela effect. Does he have hair?
No, he doesn't have hair.
He doesn't have hair.
I mean, he does have hair. Jesus Christ, you're Bugs Bunnying me. Fucking weirdo. Anyway, this match was everything it needed to be. I think we both went in there thinking Ethan was gonna win. This is Ethan's story that we're watching unfold. In the world of wrestling, where there are so many people with their stories that need to be finished, Ethan Page has his story that he's finishing here in Ring of Honor, and Scorpio Sky is back to help him. And they even did a backstage interview that they did it after the match at Final Battle, but they re-showed it tonight on Ring of Honor, and really showcasing like Scorpio's like, listen, I'm back to help him, but I'm also happy to, I'm back to watch him finish, keep his promise. So I don't know if Ethan Page's promise is to become world champion, and maybe that's what we see happen. I'm not sure exactly what. Danielle, what do you think the next chapter in Ethan Page's story is?
I hope it has nothing to do with him and Scorpio Sky. I hope that stays. I don't want them back together. That's something I'm very, very much against. Scorpio Sky can stand on the side, but I do not want them teaming back up. That's something I don't want. I think they both will be better as single wrestlers.
So I do agree that they both should be getting pushed as singles wrestlers, and I think as Men of the Year they can do that. Like I do think there's ways to get it done
Right.
where you can keep them together, but not necessarily as just a tag team. With that said, here's my issue with not doing a Men of the Year reunion now. The Ring of Honor World Championship held by Eddie Kingston is tied up into the whole Continental Championship tournament to the point where one of those men in that tournament is going to become Ring of Honor World Champion. And if it's somebody like a Moxley or even a Swerve, I don't necessarily know how much that championship actually gets defended on Ring of Honor. You know, it might be a time where we see the belt on Dynamite and Collision and Rampage more. If Ethan Page is doing his story on Ring of Honor, that certainly seems like that's what we're getting, then I wouldn't mind putting him with Scorpio Sky so we get to see them highlighted and they can come out and they can cut promos and they can wrestle guys like FTR and they can, they can wrestle other different tag teams that we've seen tonight and they can highlight themselves the way they need to. They can get on TV and then they can offshoot and go for titles when the chance presents itself. But right now, it seems like for the next month or two, there's no road to the Ring of Honor World Championship for Ethan Page.
I mean, they could probably set it up where Scorpio Sky is like helping him get there without having to do tag matches. I think that would be an okay thing. He can be kind of like his side boy, his hype man, if you will. So I think that's okay, but I don't know about I understand what you're saying with like putting them as a tag so they can be against like people like FTR, but I just don't want that happening because I feel like that they'll get lost in the crowd, in the shuffle.
I mean, if you throw them right back into the tag division, sure, but Ring of Honor usually does a good job of keeping, like for example, would you consider Blake Christian a tag wrestler or a solo wrestler?
No, solo.
But we saw him in a tag team match tonight, right?
There's one.
Right, exactly. So, like, they do a good job of mixing things up like that. So I think every once in a while, Ethan Page and Scorpio can team up. But I don't want to see them just ignore each other now because you know what I mean. Like we get like if they are truly boys, then they can have individualistic goals. They can both be pursuing solo titles, but to not have each other's back, to not be seen together would be silly to me. So I don't want to see them just go for tag team gold. I'll give you that.
Right.
But I don't mind seeing them wrestle together if it means we get them both.
And hug each other.
Exactly. Exactly. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
Now, this was my match of the night. It was the survival of the fittest match to become the ROH World Television Champion. And Kyle Fletcher, my pick from the Don Callis family, became TV champion, defeating Commander, Brian Keith, Lee Moriarty, who had an amazing showing, Dalton Castle, who was distraught after the match, and Lee Johnson. Danielle, was this your match of the night too?
No, Ethan Page and Tony Nese were my match of the night. This was a close second. Nice. Maybe tied. But yeah, this was a good one. Lee Moriarty did it for me, man. 2 elimination. I was like, this guy's taking it. I was like, I love this guy. He's taking it. Unfortunately, he didn't. And Kyle Fletcher, got it.
Well, I like that he had a great showing. Like, it's kind of like matches like yeah, no, they all did.
All of them had a great showing. Every single one of them had their moment to shine, and it really showcased their ability as wrestlers. And I thought that was absolutely amazing.
I really also liked that, and let's get into everything, but when it was down to the final 2, we almost got like a fresh match. They gave us so much from Fletcher and Commander to the point where I was like, okay, not only do I not know who's about to take this, like it can go either way, but it's like whoever does win, I just want to see these two go at it again for this title.
It was for me, I was very surprised on who the last two were. Like yeah, you thought Commander was going to be facing Kyle? You thought they were going to be the last two? No way.
Not necessarily that I thought they were going to be the last two. I just wasn't surprised by it. I mean, I did pick Kyle. So obviously I had Kyle in the final two. And Commander is, he's a guy that is very easy for the fans to gravitate and get behind him, especially with his style. Not to mention he's getting pushed on AEW and Ring of Honor at the same time. Not many wrestlers are getting that treatment. So
that's fair to say, but he also is a champion already. He has a belt, so I found that very weird that he came down to the last person. I thought it was going to be Lee Moriarty, or I thought it was going to be Dalton Castle. I really thought Dalton Castle was going to come down to the last two, and then, yeah, I was also very surprised Kyle Fletcher won. You know that.
Well, I remember we were watching this together, and like once Dalton got eliminated, we were both kind of like, oh wow, okay. So, and then I was
because he got eliminated quick.
It wasn't that he got eliminated quick, but we kind of had him. We were thinking like Dalton Castle's a front runner here. We thought there was a good chance Dalton would win, and then Johnny TV would be the #1 contender and just feud with him for that title. But instead, Johnny TV helped cost Dalton Castle the match.
But quick, he was the second person eliminated.
Yeah, I really loved what we got from Dalton Castle tonight, where we got like a backstage segment, we got a weird entrance, we got distraught Dalton Castle, and I thought following up this match with that was a great touch, chef's kiss.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then him getting the win, being distraught Dalton, I thought that was really the chef's kiss for tonight.
Yeah. Kyle Fletcher as champion, really, I'm excited to see that. It does bring another title to the Don Callis family. A little more heat. There
was so much going on that match. There was that 450 onto Fletcher on the apron, and then there was that like tombstone on the turnbuckle. I was like, everybody's gonna die in this match. It was close calls. Like it was an exciting match. I found this match really exciting.
Yeah. No, it was a banger. 100%. No doubt about it. It was a banger. What do you think about the Pure Championship match that we got, where Wheeler Yuta defeated Tom Lawler to retain?
Not a fan of this match at all.
I know you're not. Interesting.
A fan.
You're not a fan of Wheeler Yuta, though, right?
I'm not a fan of Wheeler Yuta. I don't hate him. He's not my hot sauce, but Tom Lawler's okay. I don't know. Wheeler doesn't do it for me. I don't get it. I feel like he's just added. He's kind of like the JD of like this crew. You know what I mean? Like, why are you there?
JD from Scrubs?
No, from
JD from
Judgment Day.
JD McDonough.
Yes,
okay.
JD from Scrubs. Yeah, JD from Scrubs. He's out of place for me. He doesn't do anything for me. This match didn't. I just wanted this match to be over. I got up. I went.
I like Yuta a lot.
I know you do.
I think you just don't like Pure Championship rules.
What do you mean? I love pure people. I'm pure of heart. I love pure.
Okay. I that's what I think is holding you back from this personally. I like Wheeler Yuta. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not always a huge fan of the Pure Championship rules either. Like, especially with a Wheeler Yuta and a Tom Lawler, I kind of just want to see them fight. The whole, okay, well, he's used a rope break. He has no more. Like, I could kind of keep or ditch those. But I am a fan of Wheeler Yuta. Like, this guy can go.
What match do you like of Wheeler Yuta?
I liked his match with MJF.
But did you?
Okay.
But who'd you like in that match?
Your mom. How's that?
My mom would kick.
I know you like this match. You ninny. Keith Lee defeating. Fine. I don't care if you liked it or not. I'm going to talk about what I thought because I liked it. Keith Lee defeats Shane Taylor. This was big, meaty men slapping meat, and I mean, that top rope Canadian Destroyer was crazy.
All right. So this match started off very, very slow for me. This match started off exactly how I thought it was. How we've talked about how I do not like Goliath stories. I think Keith Lee is better with smaller guys. When Lee Moriarty showed up and he started attacking him, I was like, yes, this is the Keith Lee I know. This is the Keith Lee I love. He's fast. He's agile. He's all of this. When he was with Shane, it was very slow until the very end. I will say the last like, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes of the movie. Oh my God. Of the match, I was fully invested in this. Even though I did pick Keith Lee to win, I was kind of surprised because Shane's kids were out there and like everybody was, so I figured, I was like, oh, Shane's winning, his kids are there. So I was delightfully surprised that I was correct that Keith Lee took the win.
So, like, story-wise, I knew Keith Lee was winning because it just seemed like that was the logical conclusion to the story that they were telling.
You didn't pick Keith Lee. You picked Shane Taylor.
But with the family there, it was kind of like very much like, okay, wait a minute. Shane might get this. Shane might get this hometown crowd. His daughter was not happy when he lost.
I thought she was gonna cry. I was like, oh no, don't show her crying. I'm gonna be so sad. But they had like a little moment where like Keith got out and like,
yeah,
he got out of the ring.
I thought these guys have good chemistry together. You're right, it did start a little slow, but when it got going, it really did get going. The storytelling for me was really where they shined, and we got to see that continue after the match as Keith Lee kind of, tells Shane to keep your head up. They show respect to each other. Need a fist bump every once in a while.
I hate.
But you approved this one.
I did approve this one. This one was okay. This was an okay handshake.
And things I love most about matches like this, about stories like this when they end, is that we then will get changes. So, for example, we saw Lee Moriarty get a great showing in his match, but come out on the losing end. Shane Taylor, great showing in his match on the losing end. And so these guys cut a backstage promo tonight, and everyone from here on out has been put on notice. Your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see. You are all getting put down by STP. This is a fired up Shane Taylor. This is a fired up Lee Moriarty. If these guys needed to be on the losing end at Final Battle for us to get this, I'm okay with it. It did not look like there's anyone that's capable of stopping these two, just from the way they were talking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You just made me think of the Busta Rhymes song when you started quoting them. I was like, if you really want to party with me, let me seize what you got for me. You're welcome. Put your hands where my eyes can see. Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. You're welcome.
You're I mean, listen, I'll listen to you rap Busta Rhymes whenever you want. But what do you think about Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty and this promo they cut tonight?
I love this promo because I love Lee Moriarty and I can listen to Lee Moriarty talk all day. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do now that they cut this promo and kind of called everybody out. They're going to be going through people and I love it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what this means. Does it mean that we're getting more of tag team from Shane Taylor promotions? Do we see them go for tag team gold? Is it going to be a thing where maybe they just start attacking random people? I do hope that this leads to some W's piling up. I think Tiger style Lee Moriarty is well overdue for a championship around his waist.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, so I'm really hoping that we get that shortly. ROH has some titles, AEW has some titles, so there's more than enough to go around.
You get gold. You get gold. You get gold. Everybody gets gold.
Next, we had the Jay Briscoe Memorial match that turned into a fight without honor. It was FTR and Mark Briscoe defeating the Blackpool Combat Club, Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and John Moxley. This match was exactly what we expected it to be. This match was bloody. This match was nasty. This match was crazy, unhinged, sadistic. And I think Jay Briscoe loved every minute of it.
Yeah, unorganized, fast paced, a kerfuffle. Yes, that's what this match was. I'm not really a fan of these matches. I appreciate for what they are. Because obviously this is the Briscoe thing, but I feel like these matches kind of get a little messy and sloppy, and then you don't know where to look, you don't know who to focus on. You're just having people like, you're like, oh, everybody's all over the place, so this must be an amazing match. But when you're actually watching the match, you're like, they're kind of just standing in the corner hitting each other for 5 minutes. So like, I'm not a huge fan of these matches. They're fine, and like they're fluff for me in a sense, but yeah, these matches don't do it for me.
I appreciate.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Continue.
No, I was gonna say I did appreciate Mark Briscoe being like, you must have hit your head. And he was like, no. Like, I love that. And all the comedic aspect of it. But yeah, matches like this for me are just like, they're fun and silly, but like, yeah, they don't really do much for me.
I don't mind them. You know, if it was like 5 matches like this, then maybe it would get to be a little bit much. But one thing, and we spoke last week about the review when we were, making predictions for this show. I was saying one great thing about the card, and we didn't even have the full card at the time, but I'm like, there's something for everyone. If you
100%.
do want a big meaty man match, you're getting it here. If you want a high flyers match, you're getting it here. Tag team, women's. And this was the old school ECW crowds match. This was the GCW crowds match. This is the death match crowd. And they're out there. There's a large percentage of
just
wrestling fans.
Right.
Yeah, right. And not every match is going to be. I dug this for what it was. I'm an old school ECW fan, so I don't mind these matches like that. And I'm a fan of literally every wrestler in this match. And I'm a sucker for a memorial match. You know what I mean?
Oh,
they were
absolutely.
doing it for Jay. I can't watch the clip of Mark talking to Jay after without tearing up a little bit.
Oh man.
Who
cut the onions?
Cutting onions.
You better stop cutting those onions, man. I can't handle this anymore.
Now, we mentioned it a little earlier, but Eddie Kingston defeated Anthony Henry. We needed a buffer match because Athena and Billy Starks main eventing was enough pressure. Having them follow the Jay Briscoe Memorial would have been a bit much. So I'm glad that they were able to get Eddie Kingston and Anthony Henry together. What are your thoughts on the proving ground matches, whereas you have to either win or last 10 minutes, and if you do, you get a title shot? What do you think about it?
I don't hate them. I think it's a good way to showcase people's abilities. Going 10 minutes, like, good. I'm not going to watch a squash match. I'm not going to watch a 3-minute match. A nice 10-minute match is where it's at. Like, so I like that if they can go 10 minutes. I like that. And just like it says, it's proving it and proving themselves. And I do like that very much. And I think Eddie Kingston is a good person to have against a person who is trying to prove themselves, because I think he's another person that makes people look like gold. So I'm for the proving ground matches.
Live chat, we want to know what you guys think about the proving ground match. So go ahead and throw those thoughts in the chat box below. I've got mixed feelings about it. I'm still kind of think I'm coming to my conclusion about it. I do like it in theory, and I did like it here. Like, in theory, I do think, there's something to be said about if a challenger, especially if you're not doing it for like someone who would theoretically be number one contender, you're doing it with an Anthony Henry who's not necessarily been considered for an ROH World Heavyweight Championship match. You don't typically even see him having singles matches too much in Ring of Honor. A lot of time we're seeing him as part of the tag team. So plucking him out of nowhere to give him this proving ground match, and it's like, listen, last 10 minutes with the champ. And it's kind of, like you see that kind of stuff. Like me and you watch Cobra Kai when somebody wins the the tournament, the next time in the Cobra Kai, they're like, okay, who can take down the champ?
Right.
And it's like if somebody gets a strike off on the champ, it's like considered a big deal. So I don't mind it happening here. I don't know if I necessarily need to see them all the time, but I did
Hmm.
enjoy the Proving Ground match being on this card, and I enjoyed the Proving Ground match we saw tonight. Athena defeating Maya World in a Proving Ground
Oh
match.
yeah, that was a good match too. I like the way that went. Yeah, I like that match
Yeah,
too, and I like. Yeah,
yeah, and
I'm liking these.
right. No, I feel like, and once again, like with a Maya World, she's kind of an unknown quantity. We don't know too much about her. This is a good way to kind of help put her on the map. You put her with someone as experienced, as pedigreed as Athena. She is the champion, just coming off a main event. She gets to do it again. Like this time, she gets to just put her down and say, "Listen, I'm the champ, but you'll get there one day, kid." And
Right.
I think it's a good spot for both of them.
Yeah, I think yeah. So I mean, I understand your qualms about it, but I mean, I'm really liking this, and I think this is a good way to get people on the map and get people to show their abilities and showcase them.
Agreed. And I think Athena definitely showcased her abilities in the main event of ROH Final Battle, defeating Billy Starks to retain the ROH Women's World Championship. Now, Danielle, I ask you, who got the W? Was it Athena by retaining her championship, or Billy Starks, who appeared to have earned Athena's undying respect after it was all over, which is all she wanted in the first
Ooh,
place?
I don't know. I think it's a win-win situation.
I
I
mean,
thought,
it did seem like they both won afterwards. Like Billy Starks was let down for a little bit, but then she was all smiles, hugging Athena and agreeing to be her minion once again.
yeah. So it was kind of so they had a match for nothing. Is
No,
this what you're
I don't
telling
think they
me?
had a
No,
match for nothing.
I'm just kidding.
But no,
Yeah.
I mean, I have heard that sentiment around there where people were kind of salty on this because of that. So, kidding or not, your thought is a valid opinion that I have heard people, come out with. With
Hmm.
that said, I do think Billy Starks got a lot out of this. And as we were talking last week about how Billy Starks is only 19, so she's just not there yet in terms of ready to win the championship yet. Like we didn't think she's the one that should be defeating Athena. And I think we're fair in saying that. As I said, she's only 19. She still has a long way to go. And just as I don't think she's ready to be champion, I don't necessarily think she's ready to be on her own right now. I don't
Right.
think her momentum would carry on and she would be able to continue to get different programs that would get her consistent television on ROH TV and consistent buzz more so than continuing to be with the ROH Women's Champion. So I think this was a fun program, a great spotlight. I said it when you and I were talking on Heel Marks last weekend, but I can't off the top of my head think of the last 19-year-old that main evented a pay-per-view. Like was
Yeah.
actually billed as the marquee match of a pay-per-view. Can't remember the last time. So I think it's great for both of them. And I think Athena gets to keep her minion. That's good for her too. I like champions that have backup, have a good heater.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I also went into this not thinking Billy Stark needed to main event. Again, it is a big accomplishment for a 19-year-old. I know we discussed maybe Tyler Bate was the one that maybe did it, but I'm not 100% sure.
I mean,
But
I brought him up, but said because he wasn't on the card, it was like a tournament final where you didn't really know what the main event was going to be.
yeah, but I feel like he main evented another time after he was champion.
Also, that wasn't a pay-per-view. It was a PLE. Or I think that was actually WWE Network special at the time.
But anyway, as I was saying is I don't feel like it was time for her to be main eventing a pay-per-view against a champion. But I'm okay where this storyline is going. And like you said, Athena with one of her minions and Billy Starks learning from her and growing from her and having spotlight on her by being with Athena instead of being on her own. I think it's actually great.
I think this was a great learning experience for Billy Starks. And it also, when you think about it, Athena gets to really show off what she can do too, because there's no one you can put her in the ring with. And we talked about her getting proving ground match tonight. Also, like, I think Athena kind of prides herself on that. Like, give me the young girls, give me everyone that you say is green, and I'll show you what they can do.
Right. And she elevates them.
I'll tell you this much, some women are going to be elevated, or at least one, because Tony Khan announced that the creation of the ROH Women's Television Championship has happened or is happening. More details are to come. We don't know anything. My guess, a tournament. That would be my best guess. But we're getting an ROH Women's Television Championship. What do you think, Danielle?
You get gold, and you get gold, and you get gold. No, we need another belt for women. If men can have 15 belts, so can we. So I'm okay with this.
I'm okay with it too. Here's my thing, and it's the same thing for the ROH TV Championship, and you kind of mentioned it earlier as our new ROH TV champion, Kyle Fletcher, was not on ROH TV. Back in the day, like, I don't know if I made this up, but back in the day, like, the TV champion, like, on ECW and stuff, like, they were on TV with that championship every week. Like, I think
Right,
sometimes it was the TV championship, and like the champion would say, "Hey, I'm the TV champion, so I'm going to defend it every time I'm on TV." Like, it was like, I really think the TV champion should be on TV every week. I think the championship should be on TV every week. So if we get a women's TV championship, I just want to see her on TV every week with that championship.
I mean, it should be like how they did with the United States Championship, where they had the open challenge, and they should do stuff like that on TV, since they are on TV, and a TV championship should be on TV.
You
So
have
I'd
any
be
early?
Go ahead.
Have any early
prediction?
picks
Who?
for who could win?
Billy Starks,
You think Billy Stark's going to win?
probably, or
Wow.
Rachel Ellering. She might win too.
Interesting. All right, I'm picking Taya Valkyrie.
Ooh, that's a
I
good
think
one.
they're pushing her. They're getting behind her, and with Johnny TV by her side, I could see it happening.
I hope if she wins, he carries the belt out for her.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that's what I want.
That'd be great. Tonight we got Dante Martin defeating Lee Johnson. Love seeing Dante back in a ring. Feels good to have him back. Danielle, healer Mark.
Mark, he's really good. I actually forgot how good Top Flight was until they came back. Like, I was like, oh yeah, they got hurt, and then this one got hurt, and then they were out forever, and now they're back, and I am happily remembering it's all coming back, and I'm like, wow, I forgot how good these guys really are.
Yeah, I love seeing Dante in singles action also, because while I love Top Flight, when Darius was out, Dante really did get to shine. And not that I'm opposed to them being Top Flight and pursuing tag team titles right now, but I do think fresh off of Dante's comeback, like, go ahead and give us a singles match against a
100%.
standout like a Lee Johnson. Let him show off. Let him remind everyone how high he can fly.
100%.
Dante Martin's another guy that I kind of feel like should have gold around his waist.
Already, or should eventually?
Should in 2024.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. As long as he stays healthy.
I don't necessarily know if I'm talking about singles gold or tag team gold, but I could see gold. I could see gold on the shoulder of Dante Martin in 2024. Remember, you heard it here, folks. Mark of honor.
Yeah, Danielle said it. So if it happens, Danielle said it. If it doesn't, Brady said it.
Wow, that is absolutely false. That is erroneous. Erroneous on all accounts.
That's not, what do you mean?
Accounts.
What do you mean? I had a friend who worked at Jungle Book, at the Jungle Book cruise ride in Disney, and he had to be like, "Hi, my name is Ethan, and this is the Jungle Cruise. And if you don't like it, my name is Chris, and I work at, and this is the Haunted Mansion." So it just made me think of when I said that.
That's funny.
Yes, that's why I'm like, if it happens, I said it. If it doesn't happen, you said it.
Hey guys, fun fact. Lance Archer reminds Danielle of one of her old booty calls.
No. Not just any of them. My favorite. He was my gentleman's booty call. He looks exactly like him, except his hair. Like, it's so weird. Every time I watch him, like, I have to love Lance Archer because he looks like my gentleman's booty call.
And the only reason I feel totally comfortable saying that on air and not feeling like I'm blowing up a spot is because you tweeted Lance Archer that.
I
So,
did.
so
I
Lance
did.
Archer knows. If he knows, the world can know.
He responded too, and he wrote with a gift. Thank you. I was
Right.
like, "Oh, you're welcome." Yeah.
That was so
Yeah,
funny. I remember marking
oh,
out.
yep. I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna tweet Lance Archer." You're like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because." You're like, "Go for it." You were so encouraging. You're such a good friend. You're like, "Just do it." Yeah, he 100% looks like my gentleman's booty call, my all-time favorite booty call. My favorite one who always had.
All-time favorite Hall of Fame booty calls doppelganger got a win tonight.
Yeah.
Lance Archer and the Righteous defeating the Iron Savages, Jack Jameson, Sauce Hoss, Beefcake Boulder, and Dirty Bulk Bronson.
What
I
a
cannot
great
get
name.
enough of these guys.
What a
The
great
Iron
name.
Savages. Yeah, no,
Beefcake
fantastic names.
Boulder. What? All of these guys have such great names, except like Vincent. Nah, Vincent's the dog's name in Lost, so I'll take it.
I mean, listen, we talked about it last week. These guys used to be Bear Country. For whatever reason, it wasn't working. AEW was only putting them on dark, and you can only go so far. For so long, they felt like they needed a refresher, hit the reset button, team up with Jack Jameson, become the Sauce Hoss, become Dirty Bulk, and now we're getting taken to Titty City every single week, and I, for one, am happy to be there.
Me too. I'm super happy. Well, I wouldn't want to be there, literally. But
I
yes,
can't wait for Dirty Bulk to finally bust.
wow, that was good. Can you do it again? What do you need? What do you want him to do?
Not a spot on?
What do you want him to do?
Bust.
What was it? No, I'm just kidding. It was pretty spot on, I do have to say. Yeah, I'm loving everything. The Righteous, I love Lance. I love seeing Lance Archer, the Iron Savage, everything about these guys. I'm loving.
My only worry when it comes to the Iron Savages, and like I listen, I dig them in this role, and I get it. Somebody's got to be the ones to put people over, but like they were already doing that, so I worry that if nothing changed, if they changed, but nothing changes, where does that leave them, right? And now they're kind of they're entering more in the comedy zone. So for this to work out for them, the crowd really has to get behind them and take over a mania of their own, similar to the Scissor Party. Like the way the crowd took over for Acclaimed and Daddy Ass and really demanded that they get pushed and demanded that they become champions. I mean, we've seen it happen 2 times over.
Right. There just has to be a way for them to do it and for the crowd to really behind them, because people are behind them. They just have to be able to show it and prove that they're behind them, because that way, creative hears it and maybe they could do something with it.
I mean, I can't believe we haven't seen like an array of Titty City signs yet. You'd think the arts and crafts lovers and the fans at ROH shows would really be like bringing giant boobs with them.
So next time we go to ROH show, oh my God, next time we go to ROH show, we could just cut out holes and I can put it on put it on me and then just have it say city underneath.
Hey, that's good.
But I would have a shirt on, obviously.
Oh, well then I don't think
I can't have my boobs hanging out. I get kicked out.
What if I do it? Bring my twins out. I'm talking about my boobs.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess it depends on how hairy they are.
Well, the nipples aren't hairy, but like everything around them.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But how cool would that be? A little cutout and it just says city underneath.
Yeah, I think it'd be fantastic. I can't wait to wear it.
Okay, I'll make one for you. I love arts and crafts.
You mentioned it earlier. Rachel Erling did get a nice win against Charlotte Renegade.
Charlotte.
What do you make of Charlotte?
Charlotte's good. I like her. I haven't seen her before, and I thought she was really good. Again, we've been talking about this, for lack of a better term, those jobbers that make other people look good, and I thought this was really a good way to showcase Rachel. I like that Maria came out. Yes, I'll say it. I like that Maria came out. And all this stuff happening. Yeah, I'm not the biggest on that, but yeah, I like this.
Is it you not being a big Maria fan? Because last week it didn't seem like you didn't like Maria. You just thought we got
I
too
like
much of her.
too much. Yeah. This was an okay amount of Maria.
Tonight we got 1 backstage segment and 2 matches from Maria.
That's okay. It's okay.
Your salt is seasoning her sauce. I was happy to see Rachel get a win. She doesn't always get them, and it was good to see, especially since in the story that they've been telling, it's almost like she keeps losing and keeps letting Maria down. So I'm happy that I don't like it when it gets too predictable and you just know what you're about to see every time. So good to see her get a W, get on Maria's good side.
Yeah. Well, then they yelled at what's her face yelled at Maria after, no? She's like, a win's a win. And she's like, yeah, but you shouldn't be doing stuff like that.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
I was like, yeah, yell at Maria. She deserves it.
Just as we were talking earlier about Dante Martin defeating Lee Johnson, his brother and normally tag team partner Darius Martin alongside Action Andretti defeated the Infantry, Carly Bravo and Sean Dean, and the Outrunners, Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd. This was a fun one. Danielle, what'd you think?
Always fun. I love the Outrunners. I love the Infantry. I love everybody in this match. It was super fun. The Outrunners really have something special. It's so, like, I know we were watching it together and I'm like, this guy looks like Hulk Hogan. This guy looks like Jake the Snake. Is that supposed to happen? It was just one of those things that I'm just like all for these guys' gimmick and totally invested. It's just super fun to watch. They're a throwback.
They're a throwback.
They're a throwback. They're a throwback to melt my cold heart. And there's just something about it that brings back all the nostalgia. And you know how much I don't like nostalgia, but this is the type of nostalgia that I can totally get behind.
I mean, you don't like nostalgia when it's like you don't want to see another Saved by the Bell or Full House reboot, but you have no problem with like 90s fashion coming back and that's the type of nostalgia that you're okay with.
Who said that? What 90s fashion?
Wasn't Zuba's 90s?
I thought Zuba's was 80s. But that didn't come back.
90s?
First of all, I've been wearing a fanny pack way before it came back.
And even if it's 80s, that's still nostalgia.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with me liking nostalgia. It's just a fanny pack is comfortable because I hate purses.
No, I'm not saying you like nostalgia. I'm saying the Outrunners are kind of like a throwback to the old times, and so it's not as nostalgic.
Yeah.
It's just bringing back the cool.
Yeah, they're throwing it back, if you will.
Exactly, old school. Keep it old
school.
Yeah. What do you think? So, we were talking about who we thought were going to win this match. You predicted the Infantry. I predicted Andretti and Darius
the Outrunners. Martin. Don't lie. You said the Outrunners.
Okay, you need to stop because they're going to believe you. Okay, I predicted Darius.
The Outrunners.
And Andretti.
You're saying Outrunners. Such a.
I did not predict the Outrunners. People, Danielle is a liar. I do not know what's happening.
Your pants are going to catch fire. All this lying. Your nose is starting to grow. Lie.
You are
such
the worst.
A liar.
You are the worst.
Liar. Go ahead. Sorry. Continue with your lies.
Dude, seriously, shut up. You know that I picked Action and Darius. This is not funny. But
go ahead.
I do think it's interesting that the one tag team that's not actually a tag team was the winner of this tag team match.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
I mean, I'm curious as to why they chose to give. Like I spoke earlier, how I liked Darius getting the solo match, and I do think it's good. Remind everyone, let him do what he can do with Lee Johnson. But then you give these guys a tag team match and a tag team win, and it kind of makes me wonder if maybe these guys are going to get a time in tag team wrestling.
Right, Dante against Lee Jordan. Yes, I agree. He had a singles match against him, and then Darius had a match with Action Andretti. But yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with that. I don't know. I was wondering why that too, because when I saw it, I was like, why are they separating Top Flight and just not putting them together? But maybe they just want to make sure that they have, like, they're just covering all bases, if you will. That way we can make sure that we have a singles. Excuse me, I'm eating my words. We could show that they're single wrestlers, then they can wrestle in singles matches and wrestle with other people.
Yeah, I think Bravo and Dean looked great in defeat. I think the Outrunners looked great in defeat. This was a fun match. I don't think any team really loses anything from it. Interesting to see Andretti and Martin get the win. We're gonna have to see what's next for them. If this means Top Flight is maybe on the back burner, maybe we see these three guys take on 6-man tag action. I mean, the sky's really the limit for these guys. You
Oh, I
never
didn't
really
think
know.
of that. I didn't think of that. The 6-man. That's smart.
You didn't? That's surprising considering the next match was a 6-man match. We had Gravity. I'm sorry, actually, no, it wasn't. It was an 8-man match. Craziness. Gravity, Dalton Castle, and the boys defeating Angelico, Serpentico, Cole Carter, and Griff Garrison. I believe this is the first loss Carter and Garrison have gotten while being managed
Oh.
by Maria.
Oh, I didn't know
Interesting.
that.
They
That is
were on a
interesting.
bit of a hot streak, and now it's over. Dalton Castle was on a downturn. He was distraught. Danielle, let's talk about that entrance.
Oh my God. And we love a good Dalton Castle entrance because he's just so full of energy and so fun and just crazy. And he was just so upset. He was just walking down. He was Charlie Browning it the whole way down.
Yes. Yes. The ultimate meltdown. We were calling him Distraught Dalton. And
Woo.
the only thing I'm kind of sad I'm sad he won a little bit here because now does that mean that this is it? Like this was just a one-time distraught entrance? Because that was
No.
absolute gold. Like
Oh,
watching the
that's so
boys
funny.
like undress him and he like he was just like standing around, like not really flexing, kind of just putting it out there. And his
When
even
he's
his
feeding them, they're just like, and he's just like, yeah, here.
even like walking on the back, he was kind of like, yeah, I'm here, whatever. Like it was
Fantastic.
it was so great, and I thought we were getting an
Oh.
evolution in the Dalton character. I didn't necessarily know if it was one that I wanted to see, but I couldn't look away.
I'm for it. I was for it. I was invested. I was like, yep. I was like, let's go with this because this is hilarious. I was
100%. I was in the whole way, but we instead get a big win for Dalton Castle and the boys, and he takes off into the crowd and he starts celebrating.
And what was your first thing you said when he hopped when he started running into the crowd?
Did you see that security guard hop over and chase him?
You were all
some hustle and bustle.
that guy was doing his job. That's right. That guy
Legit.
was doing his job.
Like is that guy a wrestler? Like can he like what's going on here? That was
Yeah, he was
that
just
was a
doing his
solid jump.
Yeah, he was doing his job. He was making sure Dalton Castle was okay.
Right. Never know that crazy crowd. Those crazy wrestling fans. But yeah, Dalton Castle, I can't say enough good things. And like I said, the only bad thing is now I don't necessarily I'm curious as to if we're just back to square one. Next time we see Dalton Castle, is he just Dalton Castle, the prancing peacock again, and like all business as usual? Is now this the win that catapults him to the stratosphere? And he's like, I'm on top of the world. Everyone's going to get posters of me.
Nah, I hope they keep this a little longer. And I think I can see them keeping it just a little bit longer. Like he's still upset that he's not one. It will probably lead for him to face Johnny TV or like have a feud where Johnny TV will like snap him out of it. He'll snap out of it when he wrestles Johnny TV.
Unless Johnny TV beats him and then he gets distraught again.
Oh no, hard Charlie Browning.
Like big time Charlie Browning.
Big time, like womp womp.
And honestly, after how enjoyable watching it was tonight, I don't know if that's not what I want. Like,
right? Now he's gonna come out and be excited next week, and we're gonna be like, this sucks.
Oh, come on, Dalton. Can't somebody
Be
make
sad.
you sad?
Be sad.
Somebody break Dalton Castle's heart, please, so we can be entertained.
Wow, we're monsters.
Monsters. We're monsters.
We are monsters.
The monsters were loose in our main event. We had Commander and El Hijo del Vikingo defeating Gringo Loco and Jack Cartwheel.
You said that all so beautifully.
Cartwheel was in 0 hour and now main eventing ROH. I love that.
I love how beautifully you said all those names. They flowed so beautifully together. It's really nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Danielle.
welcome.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I thought that was great. Yeah, you said pre 0 hour, and now we have him main eventing this match. Jack cartwheel's super fun to watch. He did that cartwheel and like cartwheeled over the top rope onto the floor. I thought that was fantastic. All of them, the high flying stuff, it totally gets me. I love that stuff.
It's what he does. It's his thing. I dig it. The fans dig it. I'm a big fan of Gringo Loco also, and I love
Yes.
getting to see him in the main event, and I love seeing him get to heel it up, ripping Commander's lucha mask. That's a big no-no. Big no-no.
Big
But he did
no-no.
it.
No. He's gonna get in trouble for that one.
He did get in trouble.
No, I mean like in trouble. He's gonna get fined, right?
No. He's not gonna get fined. He's just gonna,
They don't get fined.
get his butt whipped, which is
Oh,
exactly
good.
what Commander did.
What a great match.
Commander, I mean, we've been talking about him all night because of his great showing in the Survival of the Fittest
Oh
match.
yeah.
This guy's really got a bright future. I know you mentioned the fact that he's already a champion with AAA, but fact is Commander's going to win gold in ROH. He's going to win gold in AEW. I think AEW/ROH wants to really showcase him as like their lucha star. And I think he's filling that role.
I think that's a great perspective, and I agree with you.
How insightful!
I was like, "Do you hate when I do you hate when I agree with you?" No, I think you're completely wrong. Jack Carter.
I mean, I hate when you agree with me because I'm confident you're a liar. You never agree with me.
I was gonna agree with you. I agree with you. I agree that Dalton Castle as Charlie Brown is fantastic, so I'm agreeing with this. Commander, yes, absolutely.
I'm sorry. I'm so used to you shutting me down.
That's it. From now on, I'm only going to agree with you. Except about Chris Masters. But other than that, done.
No, it will feel disingenuous. I won't even want to talk to you anymore. I'll be like, oh my God, I don't even know what to believe with her anymore. She keeps telling me she believes me. I know she doesn't believe me.
I mean, I believe you 99% of the time.
Lies. See? You see these people? You hear these lies?
94% of the time?
Anyway, this tag team match was a fun one.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Just like earlier, we were talking about how like ROH is good about kind of they can put people together that aren't necessarily a tag team, but put them in a tag team match. It doesn't feel out of place. It doesn't feel like something I don't want to see. It doesn't feel like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't marry these two together to the point where we're going to have to see them tag team for the next month. But fantastic main event that let 4 people shine. Danielle,
Absolutely.
overall, what do you make of Final Battle and Ring of Honor tonight? Rank it in level of. Well, rank it, not rank it. Compare it to candy bars. What candy bar was ROH tonight, and what candy bar was Final Battle?
Final Battle was a Snickers because that's my favorite candy bar.
Whoa!
And tonight's show was Milky Ways because they don't have nuts in them. What?
Do you like nuts?
I do, but then it makes it less of a Snickers. It's not as good as a Snickers because it doesn't have nuts. Is that how you want me to read it?
Okay.
I don't know.
No, that was perfect.
I will say I really enjoyed Final Battle as opposed to other pay-per-views from different brands of wrestling because I just feel, I know we talked about it, I just felt it flowed so well together. Like there were definitely like I don't even want to, I wouldn't call them pee break matches, but like breathers, if you will, where I'm like, okay, I could stop for a minute, maybe go get a snack really, really quick and come back because I don't want to miss stuff. But if I miss like half a second of this, it'll be okay. I feel like the pacing of this was really strong. I feel like all their backstage segments and all their promos they were cutting and the setups were perfect for storylines to go throughout the night. They weren't just throwing a musical guest or they weren't just throwing like random like advertisements or anything like that. I will say the one thing that they did during ROH that bugged me was they were advertising AEW during the same time as the ROH
That
pay-per-view.
was so weird.
That was so weird. Like
during 0 hour, they're advertising what they're showing for free on TV, literally starting at the same exact time as Final Battle was beginning.
literally a head scratcher where I was like, so wait, you don't want, so you're going to make people, you want people who paid for a pay-per-view to turn it off and tune into your free show? Like, what's happening? It was very confusing because they were
worse because the people that were watching 0 Hour are potentially people that are trying to make the decision, do I buy this or not? And you're basically telling them, hey, if you're on the fence, we've got a great show for free.
Yeah, it was very, very weird because I was like, wait, am I supposed to be watching this? I'm like, when is this show? And I'm like, wait, this show is airing the same time as this pay-per-view is airing. Yeah. Why are you even bringing the... That
like,
threw
it's
me
one
off
thing. It was one thing that during Final Battle they're promoting like the matches for next week's Collision or Dynamite or whatever. Like, it is what it is. We understand these are brother sister companies, so that's fine.
Right, they're canoodling.
But the fact that, I mean, I thought it was weird that Final Battle was going against like Rampage, but the fact that they're actually going to like promote it, like, that was so bizarre.
And it wasn't like they said it once and then didn't say it again. They kept saying it. Like, there was a point where I forgot who was wrestling, but that person was wrestling on Collision at the same time. Commander, that was it, right?
Commander was in the main event of Rampage.
Weird. It was so weird. I was like, so that was one thing where I'm like, maybe you're a sugar-free Snickers bar now that I'm thinking about it, because that advertisement was so weird to me. So weird. Ugh. Yeah. But anyway, so
I didn't understand that at all.
Not at all.
I didn't get it. But other than that, fantastic show. Thoroughly enthralled. T to B. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in with us. That's going to do it for another edition of Mark of Honor. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Make sure to give us a follow. We are the Heel Marks. We're at the Heel Marks. She is Danielle. She's at DCC125 on Instagram. She's at Being Clever on Twitter. I am at Good Dude Bad Jew on Instagram. I am not on Twitter. Once again, at the Heel Marks. Check us out every single Sunday. Check us out here every single Thursday. Don't forget to go to Slam Chats. Make those donations. Support your hosts. Support the people at BodySlam.net. Giant thank you to BodySlam.net for having us here. Guys, we are on ProWrestlingTees.com. Go ahead, get the merch. Danielle's got a puppy, and that puppy needs a winter coat. Guys, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Have an amazing holiday. Thanks again for tuning in. You guys are the best. And we are just trying desperately to be like.
They're not just smart, they're heel marks. They're not just smart, they're heel marks.